Good morning. Greetings. And this is sitting here in the innermost meditation hall here of IMC. And this morning, the reference point for the meditation, it will be intimacy. And intimacy comes from a Latin word, I think, intimus, which means innermost or deepest. And intimacy can be, it has two meanings in terms of meditation. One is to be aware from the innermost, deepest place within. And intimacy, the place where awareness feels most intimate, where knowing feels most intimate. The other meaning is to have awareness be most intimate with our experience. That we don't stand far away, we don't step back to watch or see things being aware from a distance, as we talked about yesterday, but rather we get really close. And it's so close that it's a place where awareness and sensations meet, and really kind of feels, really kind of be connected, to touching, in touch with our experience. And it's helped by the phenomena that sensations and sensing the sensations are inseparable. To have a sensation is to sense the sensations, is to be aware of the sensation. And so this intimacy is right there, to be right there where those two are the same. But the intimacy in mindfulness meditation can be even deeper in that we go into, we kind of put attention inside of the experience we're having. So if we're experiencing the breathing, maybe in the chest or in the belly, the movements there, almost like you imagine putting yourself in the middle of the breathing and the inside of the whole experience, and from the inside out being aware of breathing. It's a little bit more clear sometimes for some people around pain, that we can, sometimes it's best to see the pain from a distance. That's the easiest way to have some equanimity. Sometimes it can be easier to go to that innermost area of the pain, to go inside the pain. Almost like you open the door and you step inside of it, because pain is not a unitary singular thing. A singular thing is made up of a variety of different sensations and things. And to go put yourself right into the middle of it, the heart of it, and rest the attention there, it's a very different relationship than even being up against it, touching it. And sometimes when I've had extreme pain, the way that I've managed to stay somewhat balanced with it is to do that very thing. I kind of let myself enter into the middle of the pain. If I'm right at the edges of it and touching it, it's too easy to be in the reactive mode or thinking about it or having an attitude about it. But if I put myself right in the middle of it, then something gets quiet and the reactivity kind of falls away, or it's just there, and then the pain becomes something else. Or if there's pleasure, not just to feel the pleasure, but to kind of almost like go into it, to feel its component parts, to feel how the sensations of pleasure are dancing and moving and changing in and of themselves. So these two meanings of intimacy, finding a place within where awareness feels intimate, to be aware, that place. There's a real intimacy from the inside out that maybe is not felt if it's in the head watching or the experience. And then to kind of come really close, so close to the experience with awareness that you kind of sinking into it or settling into it rather than even being against the edges of it, touching it. So to take a upright posture, either literally or metaphorically, and to gently close your eyes. And take some gentle, long, slow, deep breaths. On the exhale, relax into your body. Settle down into your body like you're lowering yourself into a very nice pool of water, a bath. Taking a deep breath in, settling in. And letting your breathing come to normal. And on the exhales, continue with the relaxing the body and relaxing the face, the shoulders, the belly. And each time you do, feel or allow or imagine that you're settling deeper inside. The awareness is settling deep to maybe the most intimate place within. And from a place of the innermost place from where you can be aware or to feel, sense your experience, become aware of your breathing. And find kind of what you think is the center of breathing. Kind of the center of the innermost part of the whole experience of breathing. And let the awareness have that kind of intimacy with the breathing. Not thinking about it. Not being you who's aware of the breathing that's there, but all of you seemingly settling into the center of your breathing, as if there's an easy chair there in which you can sit, and from there be aware of the sensations of breathing, how those sensations arise. As as they're known. As they're known, they arise. And if while you're aware, meditating, something else becomes more predominant than breathing, bring yourself really close to that, to the emotions, not to the thoughts, but to the thinking mind, not to what you're listening to, but inside the listening in the ears, sensations of listening, other sensations of your body that predominate. Feel them from the inside out. with your ability to know and sense, feel, be aware. Can you be more intimate with the experience? Be more intimate by putting aside your stories, your judgments, your feelings of being for and against what's happening. Almost as if you trust whatever is happening in the present moment. You trust that it's okay to be intimately aware of it. And from there, breathing with it, knowing it deeply. And then as we come to the end of the sitting, to appreciate an intimacy here with oneself in whatever way that feels like your way. Is there some place where you can rest your attention within that feels like home or feels comforting, or maybe it's a place that you don't easily share with other people, but in the privacy of meditation, you can open to it, you can settle in it, touch it. Maybe it's in the heart, or maybe there's something deeper than the heart, someplace deeper in the body. It could be anywhere. The place that's most intimate might be a place where we have the most acceptance of ourselves, the most kindness to ourselves. The most sense of belonging to yourself in a generous way, in a full way, here. And without anyone needing to know, in the privacy of your own meditation, from the most intimate place within, where you're capable of love, compassion, kindness, goodwill, to rest in that place. Let awareness settle and feel where you can have kindness. It doesn't need to be expressed or spoken, or no one needs to know about it. Nothing you need to prove with it or accomplish. Just the simplest place of tenderness, of warmth, and generosity of heart. And from there, to gaze upon the world kindly. From there, invite the whole world into your heart as you allow your heart to become bigger and bigger. Your heart becomes infinitely large to be able to hold the privacy of your own meditation all beings everywhere. Maybe all beings everywhere as if they're your relations, your relatives, your friends, your fellow companions on the journey of life. And to gaze upon them kindly, wishing them well, wishing them safety and belonging and a deep acceptance, a deep possibility of being able to share their deepest place of intimacy with the world, wishing that they too could know and feel their own depths, and with that, know the depths of others. May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. And may we stay close to where we can have these wishes. Stay close to where we can gaze upon the world kindly and caringly. May our care, kindness, and generosity serve for the welfare and happiness of the world. So here we are at the third talk, having to do with the locations for awareness, or the different locations for awareness. And it's one thing to be aware, it's one thing to be mindful, and know that and only know one way to be mindful, one way to be aware. But how we're aware and where we are aware from can be a choice and can be variable, can be different. And to be aware, to be able to have some, a range of how to be aware, and then to be able to adjust how we're aware depending on the circumstances we're in, is so important. Because if we only have one way to be aware, in some circumstances that way of being aware doesn't serve us. It doesn't really work. And so if we're only aware intimately the feelings and the emotions of what's happening, and we're feeling our own suffering or other people's suffering, it might feel overwhelming. But if we can be aware, not through feeling and sensing, but be aware in the mind's eye or in the knowing mind, in a sense, stepping back and having the bird's eye view of it, then the impact of the emotions that we have might not be as difficult as if we're living in them. But then sometimes if we're too distant and observing from the head or from a hillside far away, like I talked about yesterday, then it might be too aloof and not connected. Sometimes it helps to connect that way, and sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes if we're a lot in our head thinking about things and we don't feel what's going on for others or really ourselves, then it's useful to know this way of being present intimately. And as we become more intimate, we generally come in closer to where the sensations are. And sensations are closely also where emotions are and how they're felt. And there's two ways of being intimate, coming in close. One is like there's, two things touch each other. And sometimes I've given people the instructions to let awareness be like a soft cotton gauze, soft cotton ball. And if there's a lot of very difficult things inside, pain or difficult emotions, imagine that awareness is a soft cotton ball that just gently taps against the difficulty and then pulls away. Comes close and taps and pulls away. And then we're there to acknowledge, we feel, we make space for how it actually is and really, make contact. So we're present, but we don't overdo it by staying there too long, and knowing how to pull back and be a little bit further away makes room for something to discharge, unravel, settle, for some confidence to be built, to begin feeling that we have some agency with what's going on. We don't have to just be aware in one way and then stuck there. So this ability to kind of come close and then pull away, come close and pull away, and then sometimes just be right there, being really present. Sometimes that intimacy is even deeper, where we are going inside the experience and inside the emotions, in a sense, or inside the physical sensations we're having. And to penetrate it inside, it's almost like we're knocking at the door, or we push the door gently, and it opens up, and we're able to step inside. And what that does is it's kind of like from the outside of the outside, it just seems like things are covered. It seems like a single object. But if you unwrap it and go inside, then you find out there's many presents inside. There's many factors of sensations, things going on inside of it. And that can be true even in a little square centimeter of pain or tightness or warmth or pleasure that we feel. That it's possible actually to kind of almost feel like you're going, you're not staying on the surface of it making contact, but you're actually going into it and start feeling what's in the inside there and really sense and feel it. And that's true with ourselves as well, with awareness. Awareness can be, as I've been trying to say this week, can be variable. How we're aware, where we're aware from. We can be in the head. We can be in the, more distant, aloof. We could also discover, where does it feel most intimate? Where is the innermost place where there is awareness, knowing, deepest places of sensing ourselves, and that deepest place of intimacy, and to settle in there, to rest in there and feel that. It takes time to feel it and get to know it and let it expand and spread through the body, and then to know from there. Maybe the breathing will help here, because you can breathe with it and through it and into it as a way of staying connected. So to come close to the experience, to sense it, and that could be, on everyday life experiences, where it's kind of the largest life level where you're in a difficult situation and you stay connected for a while, and then you choose to leave a while to regroup, and then you come back. You just go at a distance and watch the whole situation from a distance, and then you come back. If people at work are as a team kind of working and hard and hot and trying to figure something out, and you're part of that kind of intensity of people huddling together and not managing to figure out what's going on, or some difficulty, find some way to step away and look at it from a distance. See if that regroups you and gives you a different perspective and a different way of coming back and joining and participating. In many social situations, I think it's a useful skill is to step outside and get some fresh air and then come back in. So here we have this intimacy, we're close in, and then we learn how to step away. One place that people allow you to step away is you excuse yourself saying, I need to go to the bathroom. And most people are not going to question what you're doing in the bathroom. What you're doing is you're going to breathe. You're going to meditate sitting, on the toilet, or not using it, but just as a place to chill. So in all kinds of circumstances, this art of coming in close, feeling it, being with it, and then learning how to step away, and then finding the right balance and finding out what's the right distance. Sometimes the right distance might be not as far away as you could be, but it could be kind of, it's like a personal space. How much personal space do you need around people? If they can come into your personal space and it feels like it's too much. Some situations it's good to be 3 feet away. Some it could be 10 feet away. Where's the right distance where it allows you to be most settled and present in a useful way? And the same principle applies then to the inner awareness, inner knowing and mindfulness, that we can adjust how we're aware and when we're really intimate and when we're not so intimate, when we're feeling it and when we're more cognitively knowing it. Which is most useful? In different situations, different ones are useful. So then repeating myself, but it's such an important point. If you only know how to be aware one way, then sooner or later that one way is not appropriate. That one way is not going to be helpful or useful. It might actually be difficult or cause more problems, because some situations, feeling what's happening is not really the best thing to do. So other situation, it is the best thing to do. Sometimes being more in the head, maybe even observing or thinking about knowing it in some cognitive way is the best thing to do. And sometimes it's not that good thing to do. And sometimes being far away, imagining you're kind of from a distance. So all these different ways of knowing and locations of knowing. So for today, if you can, if you want, try intimacy. Try what it's like to really be in touch with things. And maybe even imagine you're actually going into it. It could be something even as simple as eating your food. What would it mean to be intimate with your food rather than eating while you're listening to the news or something? And what's it like to be intimate with sitting in a chair? How would that feel here, intimacy? How would it be, what's intimacy like in meditation? What's a certain kind of intimacy that doesn't cross inappropriate lines? A certain kind of knowing, awareness intimacy as you're listening to a friend. They don't have to know that you're feeling intimate, but what's a way of being really there and touching, feeling what's happening internally so you really feel connected? And so, intimacy. So thank you. And we'll kind of continue and kind of build on this tomorrow. And I hope that you kind of can appreciate playing around with awareness and mindfulness and knowing and sensing, and begin living in the playground of these things. Thank you.